Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. Now, I really feel like I just told this story. Didn't I just do a story about a cruise ship doing a repositioning cruise from Los Angeles up to Vancouver and develop propulsion problems that affected the next sailing? Wow, talk about a serious case of deja vu, because here we are once again. We have a cruise ship doing a repositioning cruising from Los Angeles up to Vancouver to begin the Alaska cruising season, and while en route to Vancouver, develop propulsion problems. Last time it was Radiance of the Seas, this time it's the Sapphire Princess. We experienced a technical problem with our system controlling all main power plants, including the ship's propulsion. This does not affect the safety of our guests and crew, which is always our highest priority, but it does restrict our ability to operate at desired speeds. Now, this technical issue that is affecting speeds, it has created a domino effect because the repositioning cruise was late getting into Vancouver. Once the ship got into Vancouver, repairs then had to be made, and of course that began to affect the follow-on cruise, which was scheduled to depart on May 11th. Now, according to reports, instead of departing May 11th, the ship did not depart till the morning of May the 12th, and this delay has resulted in Ketchikan being canceled, Glacier Bay, and scenic cruising through the College Fjord. The Sapphire Princess was supposed to arrive in Juneau, Alaska yesterday at 1:15 p.m. However, did not arrive till almost 11:15 p.m. was the new arrival time. And at the time of this recording, it was assumed that passengers would be able to get off the ship in Juneau, Alaska today. Now, with that many ports being canceled, that many delays on a cruise after they took extra time to make the repairs in Vancouver, well, it sounds like they did not make the repairs. The cruise ship is still having propulsion problems that's affecting the current 7-day sailing. Now, Princess has said nothing about the next sailing as of yet, but just like we saw on Radiance of the Seas, they say they're going to have something fixed. Some type of delay occurs, and it generally seems to affect follow-on cruises. So if you are on the next sailing of the Sapphire Princess, well, I would definitely keep an eye on my email just to see if Princess will announce any changes for your upcoming cruise. Next up, we have more changes for Princess Cruise Lines, but this began a few months ago when Bar Harbor, Maine, they voted to limit cruise passengers to only 1,000 cruise passengers per day. Now, at some time, we expected this was going to affect upcoming cruises that were scheduled to go there, because all of the major cruise lines out there, whether it's Princess, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Lines, all of their ships carry more than 1,000 passengers. And now we're seeing the effect of that limitation on Princess Cruise Line's Enchanted Princess. Now, multiple itineraries are going to be affected by this change, because instead of going to Bar Harbor, Maine, they have made an itinerary change and instead will be going to Portland, Maine. Now, this will affect August 24th, the September 14th, September 21st, September 28th, October the 5th, October the 12th, October the 19th, and the October the 29th sailing. Now, the remaining ports of call, they are not being affected, only the stops at Bar Harbor, Maine. So if you are on one of those cruises and you have not received that email, keep an eye out for it, because you should be getting it soon. And finally, CDC health inspections. In case you don't know, the CDC, they do surprise visits on cruise ships. Cruise ship docks, they show up and they are there to do a health and safety inspection. And they do a thorough inspection of the ship, looking for anything that they determine is unhealthy, is unsafe, could affect passenger health, crew health. And in order to get a passing score, you must get a minimum of an 86 in order to pass. And the majority of the time, they pass with flying colors, high 90s. Several cruise ships out there get a 100 on this inspection, except for this cruise ship. We have one that has failed. Back on May the 1st, the CDC did an inspection on Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, and unfortunately, they did fail this inspection with a score of 83. So 3 points below failing, and believe me, that is not the worst score out there. The MSC Seaside has had one of the worst scores ever that we've seen over the last year, with a 67%. So while an 83 is not passing, I am not putting down the cruise line. I am not putting down Margaritaville at sea. They are a less expensive choice when you compare them to other cruise lines, but they are still held to the same standards. So what are some of the items that they failed? Well, one of them was overcrowded water recreational areas. Translation, there were too many people in the hot tubs. And according to the CDC, too many people in the hot tubs promotes inadequate sanitation. If you've ever been on a cruise, to me, it seems like a lot of times there are too many people in the hot tubs. They lost points for non-functioning kitchen appliances. They said there were non-working fryers, non-working refrigerators, all which should have been pulled off of the ship. Improper storage practices, insufficient cleaning and maintenance, mishandling of food and chemicals. And those are just some of the items the CDC checked and has been noted that they had deficiencies in. Now, at this time, the ship must submit a report to the CDC outlining the corrective actions they are going to be taking in order to fix these problems, and then the CDC is going to do a follow-up surprise inspection. Now, I say again, this doesn't mean they're a bad cruise line, doesn't mean it's a bad cruise ship, doesn't mean it's a nasty cruise ship. They could have just been having an off day, an off week. Even the major cruise lines, well, they have ships that do fail occasionally. They correct the action, the ship goes on, it continues to sail. I'm sure the situation will be the same with Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, but at the same time, only having two cruise ships kind of means you should be able to focus on the things you need to take care of. But what do you guys think? Is this propulsion issues that we're seeing with cruise ships heading to Alaska, is that going to become the current trend? Is anybody surprised that cruise ships are having to do itinerary changes over Bar Harbor's passenger limitations? And do you think the CDC score for Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, does it make it a dirty cruise ship or just a wake-up call for the cruise line that, hey, you want to keep sailing, these are some of the changes you need to make? And that's going to be our video for today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.